As the 2020 Democratic field hits numerological nirvana with now 20 candidates declared in the race, the progressive group Indivisible has signed up 6 of the 20 candidates in 2 days to what they're calling the Indivisible Pledge for a Constructive Campaign. Joining us now is Ezra Levin. He's co-executive director of Indivisible. Ezra, thank you for joining us tonight. I really appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me, Rachel.
So the pledge is both for candidates and for people who are supporting a Democratic nominee in 2020. Is the pledge the same for both groups?
The key points are exactly the same because, as you mentioned, Rachel, we've reached this point of having 20 candidates in this primary. And newsflash, 19 of them are not going to become president of the United States. We know that right now. That's a fact. And so our contention here is that, number one, primaries are great. Primaries are an opportunity to debate the future of the progressive movement. And there are differences between these candidates. There are differences around what we should do about concentrated wealth and corporate power and the status of our democratic institutions and what to do about climate change. These are things we absolutely should be using the primary to debate. And also, at the end of the day, once we have a nominee, it is our responsibility to rally around whoever wins and not just endorse, but do the work to beat Donald Trump. Because, you know, I don't care whether it's your number 1 pick who wins or your bottom number 20th pick who wins this nomination. They are Abraham Lincoln compared to Donald J. Trump, and we need to do the work to put them in office.
So you've asked candidates and people who are supporting the eventual Democratic nominee to pledge to, number 1, make the primary constructive, number 2, pledge to rally behind the winner, and number 3, pledge to do the work to beat Donald Trump. Bernie Sanders was the first candidate to sign on. In the space of like 2 days, you got then Julian Castro, then Pete Buttigieg, and now this evening Elizabeth Warren has signed on. Usually candidates are a little allergic to pledges at this point. Do you feel like, did you have to lobby each of these candidates to do it, or were you pushing on an open door here?
I think we're going to get all the candidates here. I think we've got almost a third of them on board. We're going to get the rest. And it's where the grassroots is. Look, this is not the Ezra Levin movement. This is the Indivisible movement. There are thousands of leaders all over the country who are going to be asking these candidates on the stump to do the exact same thing. We have about a third of them. We want to get the rest. And as you said, this isn't just about the candidates. We as citizens have a responsibility to do the exact same thing. We've got about 16 weeks in between the Democratic National Convention in July of 2020 and the November 2020 election. We've got to be knocking on doors. We've got to be making texts. We've got to be making calls in order to actually win. And actually, we've already started pre-registering unity events for the weekend after the convention. We have indivisible events in Ohio and Colorado and Arizona, in some of these key states, being led by people who say, look, I may have a preference in this primary, but I know at the end of the day, my role is to rally voters all around my community in order to replace Donald J. Trump.
Ezra Levin, co-executive director of Indivisible. Again, this thing seems to be catching fire. 6 of the 20 candidates already signed on. Ezra, keep us apprised. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rachel.
We'll be right back.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.